Hello, worthy women. How you doing? Today is Worthy Wednesday. Oh! Okay. Hey, sis. Okay, let me turn off the comments right now because y'all know I will. Naomi, you put the sad face. Is everything okay? Did you mean to put the sad face? I still can see it on this thing. Oh, wait, let me see. All right. Welcome. Hi, Stacy. Welcome to Worthy Wednesday. Worthy women, I am so happy to see you. Hey, Miss Jerry, we're on the same time now. Aren't you excited? I'm so happy to see y'all. It's been y'all, can you believe it's Wednesday? Okay, praise the Lord. We made it. It's already Wednesday. Second thing I want to say is thank God that we have not experienced any civil unrest. I have really been praying for that because I'm like, God, the nation cannot take any more. We are at the end of the end. So if you believe in prayer, seek the Lord so the nation can maintain a sense of calm, because no matter who becomes our president, we still have to live in this nation. People still need their homes. They need their jobs. And so I am so thankful that we have not experienced any civil unrest. And I am praying that we do not after they declare the president and all that stuff. But thank God for his mercy so far. I am, y'all, listen, what a year 2020 has been. Anyway, I want to know two things before we get started. Number one, I want to know, how is being thankful going for you? I want to tell you something that I learned in undergraduate and also in graduate school, studying psychology and then studying cognition and instruction, so how the brain learns. One of the things we learned is that when you choose to focus your mind on something specifically and you are particularly aware of that particular thing, for example, gratitude and being thankful, that you begin to actually look for things to become thankful for. So the reason why I'm telling you that is because practicing to be thankful, you will find out how easy it is to be thankful all the time. I know it's something that we teach children, to be thankful, to be appreciative, of their teachers, of their parents, of their siblings, but it works the same for worthy women. If you practice to be thankful, you will find yourself looking for things and looking for reasons to be thankful. So I have thought of 48,000 things I'm thankful for. Like every day I'm like, oh, I should post this. Oh, I should post this. Because I have so many wonderful things to be thankful for. Like today, obviously I'm thankful because it's Worthy Wednesday. But I'm also thankful because the weather is still so beautiful. So many people have had snow and so I am thankful to still see the sunshine. I love the sunshine, y'all. It is my favorite thing. Anyway, so I want you to continue to practice to be thankful this week. Sister Wendy Dunn, I am happy to see your profile pic. I hope you are doing well. Well, this month, I bet y'all thought I was going to talk about thankfulness, but I'm not, because that would have been way too Captain Obvious, and I didn't really feel like I needed to talk about that. I felt like it's something that we need to practice and cultivate, hence the 30 days of being thankful. But I felt like there's something a little bit more pressing coming out of October and really deciding to have a no fear life. Let me tell you some worthy women. Having a no fear life is exactly how I intend to live the rest of my days. Whatever dream I've ever thought about doing at one time or another in my life, I am here to tell you I will do it. I've always wanted to be a lawyer. So listen, y'all, I'm probably going to law school soon. And I have always wanted to go to Brazil and get my master's degree. I told y'all that story that I didn't go because I found out I was pregnant with Gianna. And so I didn't get to go. But listen, Gianna's at college. Anyway, y'all know I'm not going out of the country until she's done with that. But I intend to go and get my master's degree in Spanish, not because I need it, but just because I want it, and to have that experience to live in South America and Brazil or whatever. So I'm telling you, when you decide that you are going to have a no fear life, it doesn't mean that fear doesn't come. It doesn't mean that you might not even experience the symptoms of fear, but the decision you make is, I am going to do it. I am not going to include fear. I'm going to exclude it, and I'm a roll. So I am challenging you in this month of being thankful. What is it that you need to look in the face? Naomi, I'm going to wink at you on the side just because I thought about you in that moment, and we need to go for it 100%. But anyway, let's talk about what we need to talk about tonight, and that is changes. Have y'all ever heard that song? It's by David Bowie. It's called Changes. Okay, first of all, I'm not really sure why I even know that part of the song. Probably because it's the most famous part of the song. But tonight I decided to look it up because I really want us to become changed, worthy women. And of course, you know, a lot of times we think that changing is only done on the outside. Well, because we're women. So of course, changes for us is always on the outside. But in reality, worthy women, I'm talking about changing on the inside. The type of change that causes your life to be different. That's exactly what I want to talk about tonight. And I might talk about it next week too. I'm not sure. But let's talk about it first. So change, y'all know I went to the dictionary. It's my favorite thing to do. And did you know that change could be a verb and a noun? I did not know it could be a noun. I thought for sure it was a verb because it's action, but it could also be a person, place, thing, or main idea. Think about that. So change, it says to make different in some particular way, to make radically different. To undergo, and here's where we're going to spend a little bit of time tonight studying transformation, transition, or substitution. Tonight, worthy women, I want to talk about changes, transformation, transition, and substitution. So a change is something that we expect or we look for. But probably to no fault of our own, just human nature and the way that we have all grown up, the way that we have cultivated our lives, we only look for change on the outside. Now, I particularly want to talk specifically to worthy women. So let me tell you how we look at change against ourselves, and then also when we compare ourselves to other women. First of all, we look on the outside appearance. We look at our height. We look at our hair, we look at our makeup, we look at our weight. Yes, we even look at that. We look at our style. And we think to ourselves, am I better? Is the change that I see in myself better than what this Sister Cucumber is presenting to me right now? See, the change that I made is better than hers. So then I can feel like, oh, well, I'm better than Sister Cucumber because the changes I made, well, they actually made a difference. But the problem is that when we undergo transformation in change, transformation means a change in the composition or the structure, a change in the outward form or appearance. So y'all, when we say we've changed something, the first place we look is our outer appearance. I thought to myself, probably for the last 48 hours, I said, I wonder why we only equate change to something that I could actually see. Why is it that the only way I think someone has changed is if they've changed their hair, if they've changed their makeup, if they've changed their style of clothing, if they've lost weight, if they've gained weight, if they became a wife, if they became a mother, if they became a doctor, if they became a lawyer? The only time that I say that someone has changed or that change looks good on them is when I can visually put my eyes on a change in the outward form or appearance. But transformation also means a change in character. Now, if you've lived longer than a day, you have a character that is well established. There are people that will describe you based on your character. Sometimes we say your reputation precedes you, meaning who you are as a person, your beliefs, your ability to relate to people, your ability to problem solve, your ability to lead. That thing precedes you. So before I meet you face to face, I could say, wow, I've heard so many great things about you. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to work with you, because all of the people that you've worked with prior to me have said the same thing, that who you are and what you believe and what you stand for is absolutely amazing. They're talking about a change in character. Or are they? Well, I thought to myself that transformation, if your character is different, then the outward appearance, the way and the structure that you look should reflect the change of the internal thing that transformation is really referring to, because change says to undergo transformation, transition, or substitution. But transformation has nothing to do with the outward appearance. And here's why I want to address this tonight, worthy women, because we are so determined to base our worth on how we look on the outside, how people perceive that we look on the outside, how people think that our character is built because of what they can see on the outside. But really change is a transformation of your character that's on the inside. So listen, y'all, I really have a hard time with this, because I am constantly aware of how my reputation precedes me, but I often wonder if my character can keep up with it. Now, I'm going to give you an example, because I feel like it's important. I feel like it's important for me to be transparent when I'm doing my best to encourage us to become the best worthy women, the best version of ourselves absolutely possible. Y'all, I hate poor customer service. My sister will testify. Okay. If I go to any establishment, I don't care where it is, Walmart, Target, Texas Road, I don't care. If I get poor customer service, I immediately switch. Now, I know y'all might find that hard to believe. My sister doesn't find it hard to believe because she's actually witnessed it. But when I thought about the transformation, the change that I really want to be, the transformation of my character, let me tell y'all something. If someone doesn't do the right thing when I order my food, I don't even speak to them anymore. I just tell them when they come back over, can you bring your manager? And the way that I just said it is how I say it to them. I am completely stone-faced. I make no apologies for my tone. Listen, y'all, I am really aware that my character, because see, the character's on the inside. See, the character that we see is the character that's on the outside, because we believe that change is only the transformation that occurs on the outside. But the true change that you know you are not who you used to be is when your character on the inside manifests on the outside. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. There was a time in my life that I was really angry. Sometimes I might think I fall in that every now and then. But there was a time that I was really angry about some things internally that were happening in my life. And here's where I knew that I needed to change something, but I was only concerned with how it looked on the outside. I didn't care what was happening to me on the inside. So let me give you an example. I was completely stressed out. I had anger. I had anxiety. I had angst. I had despair. I had hopelessness. I had depression. Y'all, I was literally living in fear, because see, fear and anger, they're the same people. We just manifest them differently and we try to be deep, but it's the same emotion. Okay. So anyway, I remember I went to a restaurant. Okay. This is true. And I did not like our waitress, and I hardly ever dislike waitresses, but I did not like her at all. She didn't come over. She didn't smile. She was not pleasant. She was not polite. And I literally could not handle that. So let me tell you, because my transformation was only visible to those people on the outside, but the inside of me knew that my character was still dealing with hurt and frustration and disappointment in my life. And if somebody triggered me, here's a sidebar. I really love how everything we've learned always comes together because Jesus is lit. Anyway, so if something triggered me, I immediately responded to that and I would destroy whoever was in my path. But you would never know that, because what you saw on the outside was amazing, but what was really going on the inside was not so good. So anyway, the girl came over and she wasn't very kind, and I was livid. My sister was like, "Can you please not make a scene?" Too late. So I said to the girl, she came over, I was like, "Can you bring your manager?" She was like, "Ma'am, is there a problem?" I said, "Can you bring your manager?" This is a true story. Y'all, I had absolutely no regard for what was happening in her life. I didn't care if she had any money. I didn't care if she needed prayer. I wanted what I wanted, because the change to undergo means it's a procedure that you have to willingly participate. Oh my God, help me. You have to willingly participate to transform your character. It's not the outside that matters. It's the inside. Anyway, the girl brought over her manager. Okay, let me just tell y'all, she brought over her manager, and I explained to the manager, not politely, but basically I explained to the manager that I did not like the girl. I didn't like how she talked to us at the table. I wanted somebody else. Okay, first of all, we got the meal for free. That is terrible, because we should have paid for it because the food was good. But because my character didn't match the transformation on the outside, people responded to the evil and the hurt and the anger and the frustration. And I had two different faces going on at that table. I'm just going to say, for general principle, perhaps you've had two faces at your table. Perhaps you've had two faces in your mirror. And even if you haven't, I'm bold enough to say I've had two faces. And sometimes I choose the character that is not transformed, because the change that I have to make is on the inside. That means I have to be willing to look at myself in the mirror and say, "Kari, you have got to get your life together." But that ain't what I want to do. Needless to say, y'all, we got in the car. My sister was like, "I literally hate going anywhere with you." Now, I'm going to tell you, at that time, that really hurt my feelings, because I was like, "What?" I was like, "Sister, I love hanging out with you. It's so fun." She was like, "Sister, the way that you act, character. The way that you speak, character. The way that you make other people feel, character, does not show me any change on the inside." Y'all, worthy women, let me tell you something right now. If you are having a crisis in your life, I can guarantee it has nothing to do with what's going on the outside, but it has everything to do with what's going on the inside. Anyway, so change, to undergo transformation, and we're talking about your character, the character that's on the inside. It's also to undergo transition. Transition is one of those words that I feel like we overuse it in the English language. Everything is a transition. Everything is cliche. But transition means the passage from one stage to another. Here's my most favorite part. It means movement and development. Funny, because we often put character and development together. What? We put those together because, see, change requires transformation, which is your character, and transition, which is development. So y'all, literally sometimes my mind is blown how words go together, how concepts, how things actually come together. So you have to, transition is related to development. So let me tell y'all how we use transition, and this is how we only deal with it on the surface level because we don't want to deal with the inside. We only want to deal with what people can see because then we can make that look a certain way and we don't have to worry about anything else. But transition, it's like this. When you go from being an infant to a toddler, to school age, to adolescence, to middle school, to high school, to college, all of those areas of development are transitions. And in those transitions, you go from one stage to another. So not only does the outside transform, but what's interesting to me is that the development that we see when you got those big fat cheeks when you were a baby, y'all, Gianna had the biggest cheeks. She had the biggest thighs. Oh my gosh. She literally looked like a sumo wrestler. And I was in denial. People would be like, she's so fat. And I'd be like, no, she isn't. And then we took a picture of her. Y'all, she was a little cherub angel and had the little rope wings. My baby was like 2 turkeys. Do you hear me? She was 2 turkeys. But here's what was interesting to me. That was a phase in her development, not only her character, but also her physical development and the development of her character. She went from not saying many words to 50 billion words. She went from not knowing how to tie her shoe to knowing how to tie her shoe. Every stage of her growth, every stage in her transition created development. And that development was tied to her character. Y'all understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about changes, okay? Things that in my life, I would just think, wow, look, I can't believe she went from 0 to 18. Really, that's how fast it went. But the change that I see, the part that we pay attention to is still the change that's on the outside. And I wonder why it is, worthy women, we don't pay attention to our character development on the inside. So finally, change is to undergo transformation, which is a change in your character. Transition, which is development. And finally, substitution, which is an expression of the word substitute. Now, when we were growing up, we used to hate having substitute teachers. I did. Ooh, I hated it. And when I was teaching, I hated being absent because a substitute is not the real thing. Okay, y'all know where I'm about to go with that. Some of us have substitutions of ourselves in relationships with people. Some of us have substitutions of ourselves in our family. Some of us have substitutions of ourselves at work, in a social situation, at church. Some of us haven't been in any part of our life in a very long time. Wait, worthy women, when I was meditating on this, I thought, how funny. We don't like substitutes because they're not the original. Woo! Y'all, how many of us are not being the original? How many of us are making substitutions in our lives because we don't want to develop our character and because we are unwilling to look past the outside transformation and deal with the inside and develop the inside? We are living a life of substitution. Y'all, I can barely sit in my seat right now because this speaks to me on so many levels. I thought to myself, man, substitutes are whack. Now, okay, wait a minute. So in my brain, the first thing I thought about was athletics. Okay, but time out for that. The dictionary says that a substitute is a person or a thing that takes the place or function of another. So for example, if you are the real teacher, okay, and you are absent because you have to go to the doctor, you prep your students that there's going to be a substitute. What here? Whoo! Why do we prep our students? Number one, I'll tell you, because I'm a teacher. We prep our students because we don't want any kind of foolishness while we are not in the classroom. We don't want any misbehavior. We don't want any getting out of your desks. We don't want any back talking. We don't want Peter and John to be jumping across the room like they normally do. We want everyone to be on their best behavior, the outward part that we can really see, that the substitute has to deal with. Because I, the real teacher, the original, I deal with the real character, oh my God, of every single student that is entrusted to me. I know them on the inside, but the substitute doesn't know them because they are not me. They're a substitute. They're standing in the place of me. So therefore, I'm not asking them to carry the weight that I carry. Woo! I am asking them to only stand in my place, but take no responsibility. Oh my God. You guys, how many of you worthy women, how many of you are substituting your life for things that don't have any investment in you? My God, help me. Anyway, okay, so we say to the substitute, you're not going to have any problems with my students today because they know the expectations. They're going to do exactly what you ask them to do. They're going to follow all of your instructions and your commands. I don't anticipate you to have any difficulty with my students today. And then you give your students the look. All right, y'all, I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. And then you go on out the door. The substitute definition also says to put or use in the place of another. So I thought about that in relationship to athletics. When you play sports, you have the starting five. Okay, now I'm just talking about basketball because I love it. And I used to play it. I wasn't very good. It's fine. No comments. It's fine. But I loved playing basketball, but I was never the starting five, never. I was always a substitute, okay? Now, I called myself the sixth man because I wanted to feel more important. But really, y'all, I was a sub, okay? I was just a sub. So here's what happens. When the coach says timeout or sub, the coach looks at me and says, Cree, get in the game. Go in for number 7. I'm like, yes. I finally get to go inside. So I'm playing in the game. The coach is over there yelling at number 7. I don't care because I'm in the game, right? I'm a sub. Now, here's what you don't think when you substitute things. You don't think that you're only going to be in for a limited, oh my God, amount of time. See, a substitute can't last forever. Y'all understand that? Even as a teacher, the substitute becomes long-term. That means she's no longer new. She's no longer the expectation of, they're going to be on their best behavior. She has now taken the place of somebody else. But what happens in real life when you're changing, we think that the substitute is going to stay in forever, and we're never gonna have to deal with why the coach pulled us out, oh my God, out of the game. Have you guys ever, worthy women, have you ever been in a situation in your life and you looked around and said, time out, I need a sub? And the sub comes in because you have had it up to here. You have prayed all you can pray. You have cried all you can cry. And you're like, listen, I need a break. So you ask your other self to come in and substitute for you. That part of you is happy to be in the game, but you forget that a substitute is only available until the real player is ready to go back in. Oh, worthy women, can I tell you that there are no substitutions in changes? Because true character development does not allow for you to substitute your growth. Y'all, literally, the substitute only provides temporary relief, a temporary change. They change the tempo, they change the dynamic. But when the coach has said whatever he needs to say to the starter, let me just be clear, worthy women, so you know who I'm speaking to. Every single worthy woman in this group, you are a starter. There are no bench riders in your life. You are in the game 24 hours, 7 days a week. And at times, the coach does have to pull you out, and he does have to say some things to you for you to get that character development up to where it's supposed to be. But I want you to know he's only coaching you until the issue is resolved. Y'all, I literally want to jump everywhere. Y'all, I understand tonight, worthy women, whatever the issue is that is pressing, whatever the issue is that is present, you're on the sideline right now. And the coach is saying to you, you better get it together because you've got to get back in the game. Coach, what are you talking about, coach? I can't get back in the game. This is too hard. I don't have enough money. I don't feel like I'll ever be good enough. He broke my heart. I had to declare bankruptcy. Nobody understands. I've been experiencing depression. I can't get my weight under control. I have all of these problems. Coach, what are you talking about? And the coach says, changes, Karee. Changes, Naomi. Changes, Dr. Aisha. Changes, Miss Jerry. He's saying changes that are going to forever alter the way that you play the game from this point on. But see, what happens is when we become a bench rider, we decide that I'd rather be on the bench of my life than be in the thick of it, where my character must line up with my development, where my character must line up with the outward transformation that people see. I am determined to be more of who I am on the inside than who I am on the outside. Y'all. So, worthy women, I thought to myself, y'all help me because I then got too hype, like legit hype. So at the same time, life is just like this when you're changing. It says, well, this is what we'll do. We'll substitute hatred. I hate Sister Cucumber. And what we'll do is we'll say, oh, I just like her. See, but we haven't dealt with the true issue on the inside. We've substituted it for something else so people don't think that our image on the outside is tarnished because of what's coming out from the in. Okay, no, that's just me. I know y'all don't do that. I only do that. And then it says, because we don't want to appear unwilling to change our behavior. So, worthy women, here's a question that I wanted to ask you tonight about substitution. Can you tell me any place in your life that you have tried to substitute something instead of fixing it? Because see, when you really change, you can't substitute anything. You must fix everything. I literally thought to myself, there's really no way for us to become more thankful, more grateful, more appreciative. There's no way that I'm going to become a lawyer or go to Brazil and get my master's and spend. There's no way that I am going to become any of that if I'm only concerned with substituting things instead of fixing them. Because if I substitute it, then I don't have to live in that moment. I can wait for that moment to pass and then decide when I'm ready to go back and face something that I'll get back in the game. But if I'm really determined to be a worthy woman and live a worthy woman life, then the changes that I am going to need to execute on a daily basis over and over and over must resoundingly come from the inside, that when I say I love you, I really mean it. When I say I will pray for you, I really mean I will pray for you. When I say I'll help you, I really mean I'll help you. When I say I give you the shirt off my back, that means I really will do it, because I am no longer concerned with the transformation or the change that people see on the outside, because the change on the outside doesn't matter. It's only the change on the inside. So y'all, today I went to the lyrics of that song. It's by David Bowie, Changes. So it's a really long chorus. That's a sidebar. But I want to tell you the last 4 lines of the chorus. It says, changes. There's gonna have to be a different man. Well, the first thing I thought was, if I'm going to change anything, I first need to acknowledge that it has to be different. And he said there's going to have to be, meaning there's no other option. It's almost like when your baby is 2. You don't let them eat everything. You kind of chop it up, you tear it up, you make it smaller, because most children don't eat, they just swallow, okay? I'll never forget my niece, my God, today. She put a French fry in her mouth and it was too much. And we were sitting there and she started to choke. My sister started to panic. And I was just like, this is bad. And so I just remember sticking my finger in her mouth and it was a God intervention. I'm telling you the truth. My sister, I think, died a little bit that day. But she didn't recognize that she couldn't eat the whole French fry like we could eat the whole French fry. So there had to be something different about her French fries versus my French fries, because if there wasn't any difference, she wouldn't have choked. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? So when he says changes, there's going to have to be, without fail, I cannot be the same man that you see right now. Without fail, worthy women, today I should not be the same as I will be tomorrow. Every single day I should be different, because my character, oh my God, development matches. And then he says, time may change me. Well, first of all, ain't that the truth? Okay. Every year time changes. It's because we get older. They say medically, the moment you are born, you begin to die. I was like, that is too morbid for me. But think about it. I am closer to going to die than I was when I was 11. And now my life is different. The things that are priorities are not the same when I was 18, when I was 30, now that I'm 42. My priorities are way different. I don't even think about staying up late. I am uninterested in doing that. I want to do what I need to do in the early morning hours, and I want to be done by 2 because I want to go out to dinner, because I don't want to cook. Y'all understand what I'm saying? He says time may change me. Let me tell you something, worthy women. The only thing that you need to understand is that time waits for no one. Y'all, we have been talking almost 35 minutes. I don't know. Okay. Time has elapsed. We have spent this time together. We're not going to be able to get it back because it's a present moment. We can't substitute anything for this time. We all have to stay in the game on this worthy Wednesday. And then this is the last stanza of the chorus. It says, but I can't trace time. Now, if you are a parent, you understand this completely. I don't know what happened to the last 18 years of my life, because my priority was not me. My priority was Gianna. So all of my life, all of those 18 years was engulfed in her life, was engulfed in what she wanted, in teaching her and rearing her and learning her and letting her experience life all by herself. I spent 18 years. I can't trace what I did, but I can trace it through my daughter because now she's at college. But y'all, let me tell you something. The reason why he says is I can't trace time, because time moves. Oh my God. Y'all, time moves on. So I thought tonight, and especially in the month of November, so many things have happened, so many things continue to happen. And then coming out of No Fear October, I said, there need to be some changes in our lives, worthy women. And I'm not talking about the change that you can see, because those don't matter. I'm talking about the changes on the inside, because those changes will sustain you for the rest of your life. And when you get to the end, you'll be able to look back. Even like David Bowie said, I can't trace the time, but I can tell you this. The character and the life that you have lived, and all the moments that you made decisions to stay in the game when it was tough, and speak to the coach when you needed to speak to him, and get back in there and fight for your life. Because worthy women, we are fighting for our lives every single day. It's a choice to get up and to be thankful and to pray and to read and to study and to go to work and do things. So many people have made different choices in this year alone because it's so unpredictable. We don't know what's happening, but I can tell you what's happening. Changes. So tonight, worthy women, here's a sidebar. I finished my notebook, my very first Worthy Women notebook. It's a momentous occasion for me tonight. Tonight, I'm challenging us to change for good, because it is the only thing that we can be sure will stand forever. Listen, y'all, I love you so much. This was good. I can't wait to watch this again. Come on. I love y'all. Have a fantastic rest of the week. I'll see you tomorrow, where I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about changes, but I'm also going to remind you why you got to be thankful. I'll see you again.